Hey everybody, it's WB back in the saddle and really happy to be with you again. As you see, I got my Hillary for Prison t-shirt on. This is the 2016 version. Need to upgrade and get the 2017 model. But did anybody catch the inauguration where Hillary caught Bubba checking out Trump's wife? It was hilarious. If you haven't seen that, you ought to Google it. But it was that little 20-second piece of video really said a lot about having the Clintons all up in our grill the past 30 years. And I just think it's a perfect way for the American people to remember them as they fade from the forefront of the American political landscape once and for all, hopefully. But I wanted to pick back up where I left off with my last video, and that was Santa brought me a VEPR, a Wish. I actually had to trade away one of my other prized AKs to pick this thing up, but I think over the long haul, I'm going to be very pleased with this selection here. But I left off on my last video kind of detailing some of the problems I had with my Palmetto State Armory AK-47, the PSAK 47. I detailed in a previous video prior to that one that just the day I brought it home, was trying some different magazines and had a real problem. Probably about half the magazines that I had, a variety of them would not fit at all, just would not engage. And so I went through some of the issues trying to solve that. Eventually, just trying different magazines, actually broke the mag catch pin. It completely came loose and fell out. So again, I detailed this in the last videos regarding the PSAK 47, and left off with the notion that I had found a fix for the mag catch issue on the PSAK 47. Got it to where the magazines would fit, and was eager to take it along with the VEPR to the range to kind of test them out. Just out of the box, see how well they did, see if they were sighted in well, and just see if there were any malfunctions or issues with them. Again, kind of comparing American product versus predominantly Russian product, and just seeing how they do. Didn't really know what to expect. I know that there is a kind of a fairly widely held belief in the AK community that the COM block is the way to go, and that the American-made products just aren't at that level yet. And at this point, I'm going to have to kind of fall into that camp. I was really hoping to be pleasantly surprised and find a good American AK. And if you'll recall, the adventure started with the DDI. I was really excited about the hammer forged DDIs that they were coming out with. Really eager to pick one up, and I did pick one up prior to AK Operator Union doing their little test and the issues that were revealed during that. But right off the bat, I had issues with my DDI, and sent it back to DDI, got it back repaired. But right about that time, I had seen the problems that the AK Operator Union had. I'd seen some other YouTubers that were having issues with theirs, and at that point, I just decided to get rid of the DDI to try out the Palmetto State. That one did make it through the AK Operator Union ringer, and I'm kind of surprised because it didn't seem like they had the issues that I had. I can't imagine that the issues that I'm having with mine are something that's unique just to the gun that I got. I have to think that the production is going to be similar enough to where this isn't just some kind of a strange issue with this one particular gun. But anyway, got it to the range, and again, the magazines are all fitting in there now. But the issues that I had were several of the magazines, and I'll detail them specifically in a moment, would not chamber around. You'd run the action back, and thinking that a round was in the chamber, pull the trigger, and time after time just got a click instead of a bang. And it wasn't even coming close to stripping a round off and throwing it in the chamber. It just seemed to be missing it entirely, not making contact at all, and just not even coming close to chambering around. That happened on a couple of magazines, and in particular, the 20-round Korean steel magazines are some of my favorites. They work in all of my other AKs. I typically have one in all of my 7.62 AKs at all times. Never had a problem with, never had a single feeding issue with these before, and will not chamber around in the PSAK. Also, I have some of these Bulgarian AK smooth side AK-47 magazines. Same issue with those. Would not strip a round off. Actually, I had taken a 20-round Tapco magazine, which I like these as well. Never had any issues with these either. I shoot them all the time out of all my other AK variations, and never had a single issue with it until until the PSAK. The problem that I was having is it would basically run 19 rounds through, and every single time it would leave one round in the magazine and would not chamber it, no matter how many times I ran the bolt. Just would not chamber it. So don't know what to make of that, but it's an issue for me. In addition to that, I will say that the PMAG ran flawlessly. Didn't have a single issue with that running. All the magazines all the rounds reliably. So the top two for that day, and I wish I'd taken a few of the Steel Surplus magazines to try them out, but for this was all I took. And I guess in second place would be the Tapco 20 rounders. They at least got 19 rounds down the pipe before they quit. The other issue with the PSAK was trigger slap. I don't know what it is, but the trigger on this thing just was really unpleasing to me. It was slapping my finger every time. My finger was literally sore after shooting the stupid thing, and also just a very difficult to gauge the break on the trigger. You just didn't seem to know when it was going to break. It didn't seem to necessarily even break at the same point each time, and it may just have been something throwing me off from the trigger slap. But yeah, the trigger was probably one of the worst AK triggers that I've experienced. I actually prefer a Tapco G2 or even the Arsenal 2-stage triggers are significantly better than whatever they've got in this thing. And I'm assuming it's a PSAK Palmetto State trigger. Again, this is supposed to be 100% US-made AK. So anyway, that's where we're at with the PSAK. I think I'm about done with the thing. Had high hopes for it again, but this looks like 2 strikes for the American-made AKs. I did find a very interesting bit of information today. It looks like Palmetto State Armory has acquired DDI. So I don't know what you make of that. Again, neither one of them have worked out well for me in my little adventure into the U.S.-made AK market. But they're talking it up, and it sounds like they've got a lot of things that they're excited about trying to do, including some 9mm AKs. And my understanding is the DDI is still going to be an active part of the Palmetto State company, but they're going to focus more on the higher end AKs, where Palmetto State is going to focus more on the entry level price point. At least they're still saying that their quality is going to be high, but I don't know what to make of this of the issues I've had with this thing so far. Wouldn't expect that. You know, this isn't the cheapest AK on the market. I would have been much happier just getting another Wasser or getting the Wasser's cousin, the RH10, is an interesting looking prospect to me. Arsenal apparently, based on what I've heard from the SHOT Show, is coming out with an $850 SLR 107 fixed stock series. So I'm thinking that I'm going to say goodbye to the PSAK and just wait until the SLR 107 fixed stocks are readily available and just pick one of those up and you know, change the furniture out to my liking. But yeah, you know, again, it just doesn't look like the US AKs are ready for prime time at this point. Had problems with both the DDI and the PSAK right out of the box, and in my opinion, not problems that I should have been having. Just, you know, again, if they're going to come out with a brand new product, they should at least anticipate buyers wanting to utilize a variety of magazines and have them work well in their brand new guns. So I guess I've pretty well touched on that. I want to move along to the VEPR. No surprise here, but there were really no surprises with the VEPR. I do have some comments on it. I will say that both of the guns appear to be pretty well zeroed in at 100 yards. Yeah, so it looked like they had at least been zeroed in at the factory, and it appeared to be at about 100 yards that they were hitting pretty well. Thoughts on the VEPR? You know, I guess I could start with the few negatives that there really are, but I will say that the furniture on the VEPR is really butt ugly. I had to paint this furniture just to be able to look at it. Just when it shipped in the black furniture, to me, it just no aesthetic appeal to it whatsoever. I painted it with a gray color. It's actually a metallic gray. It's kind of shiny, but you can hit it with a finish coat of flat to knock the shine off it if you choose to. But I kind of like it. I think that it gives it a little visual contrast and makes it at least something you can stand to look at. On the plus side, though, this lower handguard is roomy enough to where you can easily attach a little section of rail there, which I've done on both sides. You've got room to attach that without interfering with either the barrel or the heat shield. So that's a nice little feature to be able to you know, I was hoping to at least be able to stick a flashlight on it without spending a bunch of money. Now, I will say in further comment on the furniture, this thing is put together really tight. That could be a good point or a bad point, just depending on how you look at it. If your thought is to immediately yank that buttstock off, keep in mind it does have a thicker receiver, so your standard AK buttstock isn't just going to slide right in there. It's going to take some fitting to get it to fit. So keep that in mind. I was thinking, and I had actually heard that you could quickly put a different buttstock in there, but not the case. It's going to require some fitting if you're trying to use standard AK 1mm. This is 1.5mm receiver. But again, this thing is so tight that you can take these screws out of the buttstock and shoot it for 10 years, and it will never ever come loose. Again, that could be a good thing if you want to keep the buttstock the way it is. If you're looking to change it out, you're gonna bust some knuckles and shout some expletives trying to get that thing out of there. I actually saw online, Into Weapons has a YouTube channel, and I think he had mentioned that he had to literally destroy the buttstock. He had to cut it off, run a screw up in there, and somehow pull it out. I tried heating it up and banging it out. I tried every way I know to try to get the buttstock out, and it was a no-go. Still in one piece, and it's still in there. And again, I could easily take these screws out and feel completely confident that that thing is not going to come out of there. I think they even Loctited the pistol grip because I couldn't get the pistol grip out of there until I ran some heat on it and let it cool down for a minute, and then I was finally able to get the screw to turn to get the pistol grip off. But other than that, you know, again, this is a very solid. I've heard nothing but good reviews on the VEPR, and it ran flawlessly. I guess as far as a comparison, it's probably not fair because all I had on the VEPR to test as far as magazines or just the Bulgarian polymer with steel reinforcements. So that's all I had, whereas with the PSAK, you know, I had several, and some of them worked and some of them did not. I don't anticipate any problems with the VEPR. I think, again, it being based on a Russian gun, they've long since worked the kinks out of their production. And another thing is there's not as wide a variety of AK-74 magazines as you'll find with the AK-47, especially if you're not looking to pay 40 or 50 bucks a pop. There's just a much more limited availability of magazines for the AK-74. I did have a TAPCO magazine. I should have taken that and at least tested that out. But the TAPCO AK-74 magazines have worked well on all the other AK-74s that I've tried them in. So I certainly wouldn't anticipate any problems in the VEPR. But I will try to make that a point to get some additional magazines to test out with the VEPR. But again, this thing is a pleasure. If there's any other downside to it, it's maybe a little bit heavy, but that's well worth what's gained in exchange for it with the thick receiver, the RPK receiver and barrel. I mean, this is just a solid little workhorse that'll you know, last a lifetime, I would imagine. I'm sure I'll never shoot the barrel out of this thing. But anyway, that's where I want to leave it. Again, it's been an interesting experience down this journey into the American AK market, but it hasn't been a very pleasant one or productive one for me. And again, my time and money would have been better spent on another variety. Again, it's kind of exciting to see what Arsenal's bringing to the market this year. The Alpha looks like it's still down the road a couple of years, but again, it looks like 9mm AKs are going to be a big thing in the near future, with several different manufacturers coming out with varieties of those. And I really like everything the Palmetto State and the former DDI, I guess, we're trying to do. They're trying to encompass a lot of things. They're trying to bring a lot of different calibers to the market. I actually saw a video today where they have a barreled receiver, so they're trying to more or less have do-it-yourself options similar to the ARs. And they mentioned something today. I seen some information on a variety of calibers as well. I don't know how they're going to pull that off with AKs, but you know, we'll stay tuned. And again, it just doesn't seem like the AK manufacturers are quite ready for prime time yet, but it looks like they're making great strides, and hopefully they'll get all the kinks ironed out. So anyway, I hope you found some of this information interesting. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks again.